Bob Mwiti, karibu mheshimiwa.
Asante sana Mutembei, how are you doing?
I am good, I'm good. So leo tunataka utukumbushe last time about the green card. Vile watu wakishapata job huko wanaweza kupata green card, and then sasa leo tuongee about this new topic.
Okay, so yeah, so last in our last discussion that I had with you, I think that was on when? On Wednesday. I talked about the process of getting a green card, which is basically the permanent residency that allows you to live and work here in the US once you graduate from school. And I talked about how you can be able to get it through work, okay, through employment, okay. And this is very, very important for those brilliant Africans or Kenyans who really want to come here, get to school, and get good jobs, and also who want to live and work here long term. And I see that personally, I came as a student, then I graduated from school. I was able to get a good job in the IT industry, and that job was able to get me a green card. Okay, and that's why I've been able to live and work here since then. Me, I came to the US in 2009, so it's been about 11 years. And it's because of the green card that allowed me to live and work here. It's the one that also allowed me to start my company. Okay, so we talked about that. If you're out there and you didn't watch this video about that process, it's a very, very it's a very important process that you need to know, because you don't just want to come here blindly. If you're a really, really serious student who want to come and study here in the US, graduate and get a good job and live and work here long term, you need to go to my YouTube channel and watch that discussion that I had with you. Now, having said that, also previously I had mentioned about how you can get funded to come and study here in the US. All right, because I see a lot of people. There's so many of our people out there struggling to figure out how to get the money to come and study here in the US. Okay, and I gave the option of international student loan. Okay, and I got a lot of questions from that session that I had. And today I wanted to give you features of one of the lenders that we use in our program to lend to our students, and that lender is called Mpower Financing. Okay, and I gave Mutembei the link to that lender's website, where you can actually check your eligibility for that kind of a loan. Okay, now previously I said that you actually don't need to be rich to come and study here. Although it's very, very expensive to study here in the US, on average, if you really want to, if you want to come and study, let's say, for example, for a master's program, it's going to cost you about $25,000 per year. And in 2 years, because a master's program will take you a max of 2 years, that you're talking of about $50,000, which is a lot of money, even to Americans themselves. Okay, so what do you do? Okay, and I said, you see, the mistake that a lot of our people make is that they want to come here, they have no funding, okay, and then they get misadvised and they're told, hey, you know what, just go and get a bank statement from somewhere, okay, buy a bank statement, and claim at the embassy that this person is your uncle, this person is your aunt, and this person will be financing you to come and study here. And I said, if you go with that story to the embassy, they're going to deny you. Okay, because the embassy, they get this story all the time. They know that it's a lie. Okay, and I said, you need to, even when you talk about these things, you need to be smart about this thing, right? And I said, which uncle, even if your uncle, loves you so much, which uncle will spend $5 million, $50,000 to pay for your education? Very few. Okay, and remember also, these Americans, they are not used to this, story or this culture of uncles and cousins and whoever paying for someone's education, because here everyone is on themselves, on their own. Okay, because once you are 21, you take loans and all that. That's how Americans go to school. They take federal loans. Okay, so they use the same reasoning, right? I mean, and that's what it is. I mean, no one will spend that kind of money for you, even if they love you so much. So they know that this is a lie. So don't go to the embassy claiming that it's my uncle, it's my aunt, even if it's your uncle who's going to sponsor you, unless you have a very, very good reason why that uncle would be spending that kind of money on you, okay, to come and study here. Okay, so I gave you the option of international student loans. Okay, and one of them is unsecured international student loan. Okay, and there are two lenders out there for unsecured international student loans. One of them is called Prodigy Finance, and another lender is called Mpower Financing. Okay, one of them is called Prodigy Finance, and the other one is called Mpower Financing. Okay, now here's the difference between the two. Now, for Prodigy Finance, they require you to have a good credit score, an excellent, actually not good, an excellent credit score from your country. Okay, from your country. So if you don't have an excellent credit score, which a lot of our people don't have, okay, then unfortunately you can't be able to get, Prodigy loan. Okay, but the good thing is there's still another option for you through Mpower Financing. Now, Mpower Financing, they don't look at your credit score back in your country. Okay, you don't need to have any security. You don't have to have land or some property or anything. Nothing. Okay, you don't need all that. What they look at is your probability of getting a job here in the US. Okay, listen and listen carefully. Okay, so if you want a loan from Mpower Financing, and this is unsecured international student loan, a loan that doesn't require any collateral. All you need is your brains. Okay, because they look at your probability of getting a job. Now, they know that people who have a high chance of getting a job is usually people who are usually smart. It's what it is. Okay, smart people, they have a high chance of getting employed. It's just a simple, thing, right? If you're smart, you have a chance of getting employed. Okay, so they look at those kind of students. Okay, now, how do you show that you are smart to the lender? One of them is actually going to a school that they work with. Because I said this, that there's so many schools out there here in the US, like thousands and thousands of universities here in the US. Okay, so many of them. But some of them, they are not really good schools, especially like, private universities. Most of them, they're not like really good schools. Okay, but there's of course still very good private universities here in the US. For example, the likes of Harvard, I think it's private. It's not really a state university. So there's a lot of good private schools, but there's also a very high number of private universities that are always not very good. But what these guys do, Mpower Financing, they partner with really good schools, whether private or public, because they know students who go to those schools, they are usually good students. Okay, for example, you have a school here called University of South Florida. Okay, a very good, big school. It has about, I live in Tampa, Florida, and this school has about 60,000 students. It's one of the biggest universities here in the US. Okay, University of South Florida. That school partners with Mpower. There's also a couple of private universities around Tampa, and they don't partner with Mpower. And Mpower partners with this school, University of South Florida, because they know students who go to University of South Florida, they are usually smart students. Okay, for example, we have students who study there from our programs. Okay, by the way, we help international students to come and study here in the US. We have some amazing programs. You can go check out our website. We have students who are studying there. And to get into their programs at University of South Florida, for example, they have a program there, master's program, that we usually take our students to. It's called the Master of Science in Business Analytics and Information Systems. You have to have scored at least a 550 to even have a chance of getting into that school. Okay, 550 in GMAT exam. GMAT is an exam that you have to do if you want to come and study IT business related master's program. So to get that 550 is not an easy task. It's not for everybody out there. Okay, so they know that a student who is able to get that kind of a score in GMAT and they're able to get into this kind of school, this is usually a very good student. Okay, same thing. If you can be able to get into University of South Florida, let's say, for example, for our master's program, it means also you had a very good undergraduate GPA. Okay, you had performed very well in your undergraduate, because also to get accepted to that kind of a school, part of what they look at is your GMAT also, and also your undergraduate GPA. You can't come into that school if you have a low GPA. Like, for example, if you scored a pass or a very low second lower for your undergraduate, you can't get into that kind of a school. So they know that. Okay, so that now if you can be able to get into a very good school that partners with this kind of lender, then you have a chance of getting that loan from that lender. Okay, all right. Now, the other thing about Mpower loan is that they require that you must be graduating in 2 years' time. Okay, so what does that mean? So that means if you are coming here in the US for undergraduate studies, undergraduate usually takes 4 years. Okay, so if you are coming for undergraduate studies, then you can't be funded by Mpower loan. Okay, now if you are coming for masters, because a master's program takes up to 2 years, you can even knock off a master's program by the way within 1 year. It all depends with how many credits you are taking. Okay, because here in the US, it's not like back home where they tell you, okay, this semester you are studying 4 units. Here, it depends with how many units you yourself you want to take up. Okay, there's usually a minimum for international students that you must take, usually 3, okay, and a max of 5. Okay, so if you are taking a max of 5 every semester, you can actually knock off your master's program within a year. You just need 2 semesters and 1 summer session, and you are done with your master's. Okay, so anyways, for master's students, you can get funded by Mpower loan. Okay, when you're still in your country, you don't have to be here. Still in your country, you do all the processing and you get funded. Okay, all right. Now, on the other hand, if you come for PhD, doctorate programs, it usually takes you at least 4 years also to complete a PhD program here in the US. So if you're coming for a PhD, again, you can't be funded because Mpower loan requires you to be graduating in 2 years' time. Okay, so this kind of loan, it's a very good loan for those who want to come and do their masters here in the US. Okay, all right. And I said previously that if you're coming to do a graduate program, either master's or PhD program here in the US, you also have a very high chance of getting a student visa. Okay, also I said that I was denied visa 4 times back in my country. I'm from Kenya. I was denied visa 4 times. I tried so many times. It took me almost 8 years to finally get here in the US. Okay, and I was getting denied visa those days because I was trying to come through to come and to leave Kenya and come and study undergraduate programs. Okay, now if you are coming for masters, they like students who are coming for advanced studies. Okay, like masters, PhDs. Okay, and I said also, even I talked about when you graduate from school and you are looking for these post-graduation work authorizations, for example, employment-based green cards or H-1B visas, they give priority to those students who have a graduate who have a graduate degree. Okay, from here in the US, either master's or PhD. Okay, I talked about that. If you haven't watched my videos, please go to my YouTube channel. It's Bob Mwiti, and watch some of those videos. Go there, subscribe, and watch my videos. I've talked about these things. Okay, all right. And remember, I've always said this. My session here with Mutembe, I always address serious students. Those students who are serious and they really want to come and study here in the US. Okay, I don't address those ones who just want to land here and do nothing. No, no, no. I address those serious ones who want to get funded, get here, go through school, graduate, get good jobs, and get long-term immigration papers to live and work here. Okay, all right. Now, other features of Mpower financing loan is that they give you a grace period to repay your loan once you get it. Okay, let's say, for example, you come here for your master's, you graduate from school. They'll give you at least 6 months before now you start repaying the loan. Okay, that's another feature of that loan. Okay, so you don't have a burden of paying for the loan immediately you graduate from school, because they know that, you know, it takes time before you get a job. So they give you 6 months, okay, to figure things out and get a job to start repaying the loan. Okay, all right. Now, the other feature is this loan, once you get into school, Mpower require you to start repaying the interest only. Interest only, not everything, not the interest and the principal, just the interest. It's not a lot of money. Usually, probably depending with how much loan you take, but it won't be a lot of money. It could be maybe $100, depending with the amount of loan that you took. Okay, but you start repaying that amount while you are still in school. That's another feature of that loan. Okay, and the good thing of that is that allows you to start building your credit history, which is a big deal here in the US. Building your credit history. If you can start building your credit history when you're still in school, that's like the best thing that can never happen to you. Because even once you graduate from school, and let's say, for example, you want maybe to make a big purchase. Let's say, for example, buy a car, all right, once you get a job, okay? Or maybe even you want to buy a house. I bought my house like 3 years after graduation. If you get a good job, buying a house, it's not a big deal, okay? If you have a very good job that pays you well, but you need the credit to pay for your mortgage, okay? All right, so how do you build that credit quickly? Because me, when I graduated from school, I didn't have any credit until when I graduated from school now, and that's when I was trying to figure out how now to build credit. And when I bought my first car, I had to pay so much interest, over 10% for that car, which cost me a lot of money because I didn't have credit history. Okay, so this loan from Mpower allows you to build your credit when you're still in school. It's a big deal. You're gonna save a lot of thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, if you want to purchase something big later on, once you graduate from school, you wanna maybe buy a car. You know, once you graduate from school, you get a job, you want to buy a car. Okay, maybe once you graduate from school and you're making good money, maybe you want to buy a house. Okay, mortgage. You don't want to get a very high mortgage. All right, because if you get a very high mortgage, you're gonna be paying a lot of interest. But if you've already built your credit history for the years that you're in school, by the time you graduate, you've already accumulated almost 2 years of credit history. And that's the minimum history that is required, for example, by mortgage companies. If you're buying a house, for example, you need at least 2 years. If you're buying a car, you need at least 2 years of credit history. Okay, that's what they look at. It's a big deal. Okay, so this Mpower loan allows you to build your credit. And it's just interest payment, okay, which is not a lot of money. It might sound like, maybe, for example, if it's $100, it might sound like it's a lot of money, but it's not actually when you're here in the US. Okay, because I've said previously that when you come to the US as an international student, you are allowed to work. Okay, and there's also other avenues of making money through something called graduate assistantship awards that you can get. All right, okay, so paying like $100, that should not be a problem for you, okay, in terms of interest. Okay, and if you take a lower, amount of loan, then of course you pay lower. If you take higher, then of course you pay higher. Okay, but the maximum loan that you can take per year from these Mpower financing lenders is the maximum is $25,000 per year, and they give you up to 2 years. You can take up to $50,000. Okay, all right. Okay, now the other question that I was getting from a lot of people is, what's the interest rates? Now, the interest rates for Mpower loans, they usually start from around 6%, but 6% is given to those students, international students, who live here in the US they are classified as DACA students. DACA basically means there's those people who came to the US, they crossed the border from Mexico. You guys know about the issues the US have with Mexico, about the border, right? The one that Trump was trying to, build the wall. Okay, there's a lot of young people who came with their families when they were below 18 years old, below 16, I believe. Okay, they came with their parents, they crossed the border. Okay, and they came here. Those people, they don't know anything about Mexico or whatever, Central America. So they've been here in the US for so many years. So these people, when they try to get into college, they cannot be able to get federal loans. And it's the same case with international students. For example, if you're from Africa and you want to get funded, you can't get federal loan from the US government. Those loans are usually given to American students. Okay, now same case with these guys who came as DACA students. But their parents, they crossed the border somehow, and these guys, they found themselves here in the US. They grew up here. They don't know anything about Central America, Mexico, whatever. So those guys, if you're in that category, they give you 6%. Okay, all right, they give you 6% because also you are less risky. Because DACA students, they live here. They are not like outside the US. Now, for international students, the interest rates range between 9 to 11%. 9 to 11%. Okay, that's the interest rate for that loan. All right, because you are more risky because you are from a different country. Okay, remember, you can take this loan and even you can go back to your country. You don't have to live here. Okay, you take this loan, you finish your master's, and then you can decide to go back to your country. If you get a job, you can go back to your country, but you are more risky to the lender. So that's why the interest rate is a little bit on the high side for international students. But also what I said is you should not worry about having a big burden for the loan if you're very, very smart about taking this loan. Okay, and this is also what we advise our students, because also in our programs, we have a very, very good program called the Kenya Airlift Program, where we bring brilliant students from Kenya who want to come and study IT-related master's programs here in the US, and we use Mpower loan because these are our official lending partner. Okay, we use those loans. But what we normally tell our students is this: get the loan, okay? Get the loan because the loan gives you the security that you have something that you can go back to if you want to come and study here. But also at the same time, we apply for graduate assistantship awards within the schools. Okay, in fact, actually, most of our students, they get funded by the school. They come here, they still have the loan because you need that loan, the letter from the lender, from Mpower Financing, to take it to the embassy for you to be able to get the visa. You still also need the same loan for you now to get the I-20, which is basically the immigration document that you are given by the school once they accept you. Okay, that document, you need it to take to the embassy, that I-20. And you can only get that I-20 by having a loan from the lender, in this case, Mpower Financing. Okay, all right. So what I normally advise people, be smart about these things. Okay, even if you need a loan, probably you'll need, if you're a very smart student, you'll probably need a loan just the first semester. Just the first semester. Because there's other opportunities for funding in terms of graduate assistantship awards. Okay, and I've said this a million times that I came to the US as a student. After the first semester, I was able to get graduate assistantship award every semester after that. And even I could probably have gotten even in my first semester. It's only that I didn't know about these things. No one told me about all this information. And that's why I always like sharing this information about funding, how to come to the US. Okay, how do you make those smart decisions to come here? Don't come here blindly. Okay, don't come here blindly. Don't come here if you don't have funding to take you through your school. Because that's the mistake that a lot of our people make. And then now they come here, they have no funding. School is so expensive. They think they're gonna be able to come here, go to school, and actually be able to work and pay for education. Who told you can be able to make $25,000 in a year working as a student? Students are only given 20 hours a week to work. Okay, you're given 20 hours a week. You can't even work off campus. And students mostly work low-paying jobs. You know, working somewhere in the dining hall. I used to do those jobs also, right? Working in the dining hall somewhere, cleaning tables, wiping tables, all that, right? Those are the kind of jobs. Maybe working in the library, okay? Maybe working in the computer lab, or working as a graduate assistant. That's the better job as a student, because it funds you and then it gives you some stipend to use on a monthly basis. But those are the jobs. I mean, if you don't have a graduate assistantship award and you are relying on getting jobs here in the US to fund your education, that's the wrong approach. You're not going to go anywhere. You're going to come here, go to school. You won't even be able to finish one semester. Okay. And the moment you are not able to go to school, then it means you're in this country illegally. That's what what you need to understand if you're out there, because that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think that just because you got a 5-year visa, right, you're good. You can just come here and then you're good because you have a 5-year visa. No. The visa is basically to allow you to move from your country and seek admission to the US once you get at the airport here in the US, once you land here in the US. Then after that, what matters is your immigration status. Now, if you come on a student visa, your immigration status as a student is what really matters. And for you to maintain that, you have to be in school full time. Okay, to maintain your immigration status here in the US, you have to be in school. And if you don't have the funding, then you're going to be in trouble, because you won't be able to maintain your immigration status. That's why it's very, very important that you look for this funding. Okay, get the funding. Okay, come here. Okay, get that loan the first semester. Come here with the loan. Then now, once you get to school, try to get those graduate assistantship awards, because they're usually there. Okay, they're usually there. And from the second semester, you won't be needing anything. Even in the first semester, you have a lot of our students who get their graduate assistantship awards in the first semester. So you won't need a loan. Okay, because you don't really want, by the time you graduate from school with your master's, you have a huge loan of $50,000, for example, to repay. No, you don't want that. You have to be smart about it. Okay, but now when you are seeking funding, you ask for the full amount. Okay, to take care of your education. Remember, I said education here could take you could cost almost about $25,000. Mpower gives up to $25,000. So you ask for $25,000. You ask for that, and then now they'll give you the approval letter. That's the one that you take to the school. Okay, for you now to get the I-20, and it's the same one that you use to go to the embassy. That letter to take to the embassy, and that's how you're going to get your visa. All right. And one thing that you need to understand is that the embassy, if they see you with a letter from the lenders, I mean, for the loan, they know that you are a very, very serious student. Okay, and they won't deny you a visa. They want to see source of funding. Okay, all right. If you go there with a bank statement claiming someone is your uncle, and someone goes with a student loan letter from, for example, Mpower, the one with the loan from Mpower is the one who's going to get the visa. You're not going to get the visa with a bank statement, even if it's for how many millions. Okay, that's what you need to understand. All right, so be smart about these things. There is alternatives. I keep on seeing a lot of people keep on talking about how they can't be able to get money to study here in the US. And a lot of people asking about scholarships. You have to understand scholarships are not for everybody. It's very hard to get scholarships. And someone who is asking for scholarship, they're not even good enough. You know, most scholarships out there, they're usually merit-based. Okay, so stop the obsession about scholarships. First of all, get the loan. Get that loan financing letter from Mpower. Once you get that, then now start working on your scholarships. Ask the school. I've said this many times. Okay, if you watch my videos, if you go to my YouTube channel and watch my videos, I talk a lot about these things. Okay, engage the school. Ask them about graduate assistantship awards. but you need the loan. Have the loan first. Then ask about the awards. So that now, even if once you get here and you have, let's say for example, you have a graduate assistantship award, then you don't need to take the loan. But having a loan is a good thing, even to the embassy. In the eyes of the visa officer, you are a very serious student who is interested in studying here. Okay, all right. That's a mistake that a lot of our people make. They go there, claim, oh, my uncle, my auntie, and then they get denied. You know how many people get denied visas? Africans, 70%. 70% of Africans who go to apply for a student visa to come and study either in the US or Canada, they get denied visa because they use the same stupid reason about funding. Okay, they get some bank statement somewhere and they claim someone is their uncle, their cousin, their auntie, blah, blah, blah. That person is paying for their education. That's why they get denied. We do a lot of visa coaching programs, by the way. All right, we coach students who want to come in here in the US to come and study. And most of those who come to us, they are funded either by loans, they are funded by their own parents. They usually don't have problems getting the visa. But those who claim uncles, even if they come through our programs, nothing happens. They're gonna still go and get denied. We don't do any magic about it. I mean, we also like those who are coming through our programs for coaching and all that to be those serious ones who have a loan, or maybe their parents are paying for their education. Those are the ones that I usually like to come through our program because I know that's a very serious student. Okay, we want to increase their odds, those serious ones. Not just anybody out there just because you want to land in the US as a student. Okay, all right, you have to understand these things. The US government, they don't just want you to just land here and then not go to school. They want students, real students, serious ones, who will come here, go to school, and then even if you graduate from here and you want to stay here, they have all these other visas that you can be able to use. Work visas after graduation, green cards after graduation. Okay, all right. So that's how you need to understand. But how can you show that you're a serious student? You need to have the funding. Okay, you need to have the funding. All right. So Mpower is one of those lenders, big lenders out there. And you can use the link. Mutembe, I think, has pinned the link for the lender. Use that link. Go check your eligibility. Okay, and you'll be able to get the loan if you're a serious student, especially if you are coming for masters. Master's student. I've said this a million times. Masters, you can be funded. Get the loan first, then think about getting those other graduate assistantship awards and all that. But you need the loan first because that is what's going to be needed for even to get the I-20 and for you to get the visa. Then you come here, be smart about it, get those GAs, get those scholarships, and then now you won't need the loan anymore. Okay, you graduate from school here with a very good, program, very good skills. Okay, remember also, I've said this many times that you also need to do some job skills on the side in addition to your academic skills. And that's how you can be able now to get good jobs in corporate America. Don't come here and then start earning $10 an hour after you graduate from school with a master's and you have a loan here that you have to repay. You can't even repay that loan. Be smart about these things. That's why I share a lot of this information, because I see a lot of our people out there, they struggle so much because of lack of information. They get misadvised. I also see a lot of our people, they get told. I see so many people coming here, people who used to do very, very, very well back in their countries as managers and all that. They come here on a visit visa, and then they can't be able to now to work in corporate America, and they start doing all these old jobs that will be paying you $15, $10, and that you used to have a very nice job back in your country. Okay, and it's because you came on a visit visa, because a visit visa won't give you the working authorization. Now, if you come here on a visit visa, you have to figure out how now do you get a green card. So many problems for visitors. You are not allowed to work. So don't make those mistakes. Use a student visa. I've said a student visa has a clear path to citizenship. You come here, you go to school, you are able to fund your education, you graduate from school. Okay, you graduate from school, you will be able to get a job if you're very smart, and make sure that you get job skills. You graduate, you get a job, and you'll be able to get also green card through employment. And you stay here long term. But you come on a visit visa, you're gonna be in trouble from day one. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about today, the features of Mpower Financing Loan. This is an international student loan, unsecured international student loans, and it's given to you when you are still in your country, not when you are here. You do this when you're still in your country, okay? But now the loan is disbursed to the school once you get to the school and register for classes. The loan will be sent to the school. And by the way, this loan, you can use it for your school fees. You can also use it for approved expenses from the school. This could be for your books. This could be for your health insurance. This could be for your, rent. Approved expenses by the school. All right. So it takes care of everything pretty much. Okay, so you're all sorted. And all you need to do is just come here now, start hustling for your graduate assistantship awards, and do well in school, because you can't just get those ones just like that. You have to be brilliant also, good student. All right. Okay, so that's what I wanted to cover today about this Mpower loan. If there's any questions, I'll be willing to respond to those questions. Mutembe, you can share the questions and I'll be able to respond to them. Seems like
I thought of answering huyu kwanza anauliza contact zangu. My contacts ni 0723282993. Unaweza nipata kwa WhatsApp number, kwa email pia. I think everything iko set kwa Facebook and YouTube. You can just see them there. And
okay,
good
good
to see you guys. One day I'm gonna study abroad.
yeah, Juma, it's very possible.
I'm blessed. I can see you. Mutembei, be blessed. Asante sana. Then on Mutembei, I didn't manage to call you kanisani. Okay, sawa sawa. Haya, that's this gentle. I like his. Sijui kama hii ni compliment, I think.
Yeah, he's complimenting me. Thank you so much, Wycliffe. Yes, you can always go to my YouTube channel. It's Bob Mwiti. Go there, watch my videos. I have a lot of content for those who want to come to study here and also work here. Okay, because I know most people out there, as much as they really want to come and study here in the US, our goal is to actually live and work here, right? After your studies. You don't want to come and spend so much money here. You're away from your family, and then now after you graduate from school and you go back. No one wants that, right? No one wants that. So you want to come here, graduate, and get a good job. But how can you do that? And that's what I always try to give information to those who are out there and they are really smart and they really want to come and study here. How do you do that? Okay, don't come here blindly. Because if you come here blindly, you're going to find yourself in the same situation as a lot of people who have come before you. They find themselves in that kind of a situation where now they came here to study, they dropped out of school, they don't have very good jobs, they don't have the legal documents to live and work here. They are struggling. You don't want that to happen to you. So that's why it's very, very important. And funding is one of the main issues. Even when it comes to the visa, it's the main issue that people get denied visas. Charles, you've been admitted to a master's program in any of the universities doing the IT-related course as you recommended the other day, probably taking the loan. So you get a job there as you study after studying. If you are married and want to take your family to the US as you seek long-term stay in the US, any possibilities to take partner and kids to the US? That's a very good question. Now, the US government allows international students to bring their dependents, basically your spouse and kids, if you can, okay, if you want to. All right. But for you to do that, you you have to show that you have the finances to take care of them. All right. For the school that you're applying to, for them to issue you with the I-20, you will have to show that you have enough finances to take care of your dependents. Because when you go to seek visa, they're going to be seeking F2 visa. You seek F1 student visa, them, your dependents, they're going to be seeking F2. But they're going to be getting the I-20. For you to get the I-20, you have to show that you have the funds to take care of them. And it's usually a lot of money. On average, about $10,000 per dependent. So if you are bringing your spouse, you have to show another $10,000. If you are bringing a kid, you have to show, I think, $5,000 on average. $5,000 because that's a kid. So let's say, for example, a school that required you to show that you have $25,000 in terms of your yearly finances for them to issue you with the I-20, they're requiring you to show 25, and you have a kid and wife or husband, and you are required to show an extra 15. So you're gonna need around 40,000 to show that you can be able to take care of them. That's a lot of money. So do you have that? Okay. So what I always advise people is this. If you are coming to the US and you are married, and especially because most of the people who are coming here for their masters, right? These are people probably they graduated from school already, they've been working, of course they've started families and all that. If you have a family already, you know, you can bring your family later on. Okay. You don't have to bring them with you immediately, because also it can be a little bit tricky here in the US when you have a family. Let's say, for example, you bring your kids. You know, let's say, for example, you are a single mom. You come with your kid. You have nowhere to take this kid. You have to take them to the daycare. Daycare is very expensive. You could even pay up to $1,000 a week for daycare. It all depends with where you are taking your kid. Okay, so those are extra expenses. You have to figure out now who will be left with the kids. If you don't have anybody to live with the kid when you are going to school, you're gonna have to take the kid to daycare. It's very expensive to take your kids to daycare here. Okay, so all these things, I know people want to bring their families and all that, but I always tell people, you have to be smart about these things. You know, these are some of the sacrifices that you have to make in life, so that you can move to the next level. I always advise people, leave your kids behind or your spouse. A master's will take you at least about a year. About a year and a half, you have a good job. Once you get a job, you can actually file. If you get an H-1B visa, you can actually file for your family, dependents, and they'll come. They'll come later on. But come here, figure things out first. Don't come with baggage. I know you love them. You want to be close to them. Your wife, your husband, your kids, you want to be close to them. But come first. Come see how things are. It's not that easy as people think. Because a lot of people out there, they think like, just you being in the US is like, land of honey and milk, everything is there, you're sorted. Just landing here, you're sorted out. No. Things can go crazy here. Okay, because life is expensive. Life is expensive. And when you bring your spouse, they won't be working, they are not allowed to work. So they're gonna just be staying at home, doing nothing. Okay, so why bring someone here to just stay at home doing nothing, whereas maybe this person had a very good job back in your country? Okay, let them stay there and do the same job. Keep on doing the job. Support the family from the Kenyan side, or from African side. All right, and then you come here, finish your school. Then once you're done with school, get a good job, get your papers. We've talked about how you can get a green card, how you can get work visa, and you can be able to file for your family as well as dependents, and they'll come here. It's a matter of years, and they're here. So that's how you need to think about it. Okay. You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstackamerica.com. Upstack America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential within you. Well, again, we've said that for you to get Mpower loan, you must be coming for a master's. If you want to get that loan when you're still in your country, you need to come for your master's here. But for you to do a master's, you need an undergraduate degree. You can't do master's with a diploma, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty much it about this. I don't know whether Mr. Mutembe, there's other questions. Now, Mpower loan actually, they support, because I can see the question here, I don't know whether they are asking whether it's supported for America only. They support studies in the US and Canada. And by the way, they support over 300 universities, and the big chunk of those universities are from the US. I think right now, they have a list of about 300 and over 350 universities. That's a lot of schools that they work with. Okay, so you need to go to their website. First of all, you need to check your eligibility. Use the link that Mutembe has pinned on this. All right, if you're gonna be watching this video later on in my YouTube channel or wherever, there's gonna be some link somewhere pinned where you can check your eligibility for that kind of a loan. All right, so guys, don't struggle. Stop thinking about, oh, where am I gonna get loan? There's loans, unsecured. All you need to have is your brains. You need to be smart. That's how you can get funded. All right, get the funding, go to the embassy, get that visa, come here, now look for scholarships. You don't have to take the whole loan, $50,000. You don't want to be in debt. You need to be smart about these things, yeah? Someone is asking, do they fund for PhD programs? I think maybe we join late. Well, they do. They even fund undergraduate, but what I said is, you must be in your last 2 years of graduation before you graduate. Now, if you are coming for PhD will take you 4 years. So they can't be funded, you are still in your country. Unless you come here maybe 2 years down the line, you can ask for the loan. Same thing for undergraduate. It takes 4 years. Okay, so if you are coming for 4 years, they can't fund you. You can only be funded once you get here, and then maybe 2 years down the line, they can fund you. All right, but if you're coming for masters, you can finish masters within a year. That's the beauty of masters programs. That's really also what we support in our program. Our programs are all for master's students. Okay, all right, so you can be funded if you're coming for masters straight when you're still in your country. You don't have to be here. You don't have to have an admission for you to check the eligibility. Okay, so check that. Use the pinned link to check your eligibility. And then for them now to approve you, for the loan to actually be approved, you have to have like an admission. Okay, because you can't have an unapproved loan to study nowhere. Okay, you need to work with the school, start the application process to the schools and all that. And then now you apply for the loan and you get funded. But you can check your eligibility using the link that Mutembe will have shared. Someone is asking, Bob, kindly share your email address. My email is info@upstackamerica.com, info@upstackamerica.com. Also, you can go to our website, check out our programs, our services. We deal a lot with brilliant international students who want to come and study here. We support our students on a lot of things apart from just loans also, apart from funding and getting new schools here. We do training programs, and these are on job skills. Okay, remember I said previously that you need those job skills for you to get a good job here in the US. Okay, and that's what I did because I was struggling when I graduated from school with just an MBA. All right, I had to get into the tech industry. I had to get trained as an Oracle systems analyst. Okay, and that's how I was able to get into the corporate world here in the US. I worked for 5 years. I was making some really, really good money. And then after that, I started my company. Paul, unfortunately, I can't really help you. I think what you can do is you try to see whether you can apply to there's a lottery that is always there every year for those who want to come and work here. Maybe you might be lucky. but the odds are very low. But they bring people here through the green card lottery. Okay, Mili, Jerop, when you talk about job skills, what kind of skills what kind of skills are needed in the US corporate, especially computer science field? Good. You have a very good background. Now, what you need is, let's say, for example, if you like anything like, for example, data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, if you can learn those skills on the side, apart from just having your computer science degree, yeah, those are job skills that if you can you can be trained on those job skills, that would be good. If you can be trained on, cloud technology, for example, Amazon Web Services and stuff like that, Oracle Cloud, even Oracle EBS, for example, what I was trained on. Those are good job skills. There's a lot of them out there. Our company, we offer those job skills training programs. You go out there and check out our IT skills training programs. We have robotics process automation, business analyst, robotics process automation developer, really, really good programs. Really, really good skills. These are the skills that the American companies are looking for. Don't just be satisfied with your academic skills, because sometimes those academic skills may not take you anywhere. Especially if you really want to work here and get papers. Papers, guys, it's a big deal. Immigration documents that allows you to live and work here after you graduate from school. Remember, you're going to be coming on a student visa, but now how do you transition from a student to a skilled worker? I have some videos that I've prepared. We discussed this previously in this platform with Mutembei, and they're on my YouTube channel. You just need to go subscribe to my channel and watch those videos. Very, very important if you're a very, very serious student who want to come here, graduate, get good jobs, and live and work here. What's your advice for the PhD path? Unless you really, really want to do PhD, I wouldn't advise you to do it, honestly, because and unless you have the money. If you are funded, then that's fine. But if you are not funded, take another master's. If your intention is to really come here, go to school and work, I think a master's program would be very, very good for you. And I mean, unless you have the funding for PhD or you have the money, then just come for PhD. But if you don't have the funding, and you know it's very hard to get these scholarships, get a student loan. Come for another master's. It doesn't matter even if you have another master's back in your country. Take another master's here. And guys, I've said that you need, if you can, do a STEM program, yeah? STEM means science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEM. That way, you'll be able to get up to 3 years of post-graduation work authorization. It's a big deal. I've talked about these things in my other sessions. So go watch that as well on my YouTube channel. Okay, it's James here. I have 2 undergraduate daughters. I want you to help me. What exactly are the principal requirements immediately for your assistance? Well, I don't work with undergraduate students because of the fact that we can't source for their funding. It's very hard for them to get student visas. So I always advise people, just finish your undergraduate. Let your daughters finish their undergraduate first in your country, where you come from. Okay, I believe you're coming from Kenya, James Obino. Let them finish their undergraduate there. It's even cheaper. Okay, then once they are done with undergraduate, then they can come here for masters. And we've said, masters, you can get funded by Mpower loan, student loan. And this is unsecured. You don't need any money. You don't need to be rich. All you need is to show that you have the brains, yeah? That's what I said. Valentine Santana, how do you get the loan? There's a link. There's a link that has been shared. Go check out. Check your eligibility. Then go to the website and see what they have there. No, my email is info, not linfo. Info, INFO, info@appstechamerica.com. Send an email there with what you want, and someone from my company will be able to respond to you. Any other question, Mr. Mutembei? I can see we are almost an hour into the show. Julie, what about for a PhD? I said PhD you can't get funded when you're still in your country. You have to be here first. Funding only happens if you are graduating in 2 years' time, and that can only happen for master's students. Mutembe, that's it, I think, right?
Yes. Leo tumeweza kujibu maswali yote. Sidhani kama kuna mwingine ako na any question.
Yeah.
Ni kama watu washaelewa. Naona we are less than 4 minutes tumalizana.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, so
okay, so you guys again if you're really interested.
Kuna hiyo moja imekuja.
Okay, see, I know most people out there, they want to come here and work, right? That's your primary, you know, you want to come here, go to school and then work at the end of it all, right? But now, for you to be able to do that, you get into your master's, right? Get here, get funded, go for your master's, make sure that you finish that master's, because if in school, you keep your status as a student, then before you graduate, find out how you can get job skills training, okay? And now once you graduate and you have your job skills training, it's gonna be a bit easy for you to get a job. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Naona naambiwa hapa, thanks Mutembei, but I'm blessed. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mutembei, and I'll see you next time.
On Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes.
On Wednesday tutakuwa hapa. So guys, kama kuna kitu hujaelewa ama umechelewa hujaweka any question ama you have a question na huku watch but you will be watching this maybe kesho ama kesho kutwa. Wednesday kuwa hapa. Bob Mwiti unaweza subscribe kwake kwa Bob Mwiti channel.
Yes.
Hapo utapata mambo mingi sana about going to America kusoma. He speaks about wale watu wamesoma sana. Si watu kama Mutembei, watu wenye wako na degrees kubwa. Now can one apply for masters in a different field from what they studied and in undergraduate?
Yes, you can, but also you need to convince the embassy that that you're not just, you know, because sometimes it can be tricky when you're trying to get that visa. So you have to convince them there is a reason why you chose that program that is not related to your undergraduate. So you need to come up with a story for that. Mostly what I normally do, like for example, in our programs, I give an example of what we do, right? Because we take anybody through our programs. Now, if you have our programs are usually for IT masters, those who want to come and study IT related masters here in the US. But we take anybody with any undergraduate, as long as, of course, you're smart and you did very well in school. So what we normally do is, because we know the prerequisites that are needed by the schools for you to do an IT. Let's say, for example, you're coming for Master of Science in Data Science, for example. You need to have some Python programming background. Okay, so we give you those trainings even before you get here, because that whole process of coming to the US usually takes about a year. So you get these. So even when you go to the embassy, you can show them that you actually have been trained on the prerequisites that are needed for that program. That's how you can show the seriousness that, you know, that's how you can be able to show that you're a serious student. Because otherwise, if you go there and you have a different background, they will think that you're just any other student out there who just want to use a student visa as a means to come to the US. Because that's what a lot of people do. I've said this a million times. A lot of people get misadvised. Oh, come here and do nursing. Oh, come here and do, some associate programs. And yet you are someone who already has an undergraduate program. The embassy will think that you are not serious. You are just trying to use the student visa to come. So you have to be very smart about it. You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Upstack America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.